What is up, GG603, owner and operator of TSW Wrestling. Of course, as you guys know, the TSW Rumble this week, Royal Rumble yesterday, of course, based on when this is live. Oh man, that was crazy. Flair won the Rumble, Cena won the Rumble, throughout Punk, runner-up 2 years in a row. What a great story that is. Obviously, probably wrong. But let's get into these rankings. But before we do that, break down a little bit of this pay-per-view a little bit, talk about the outcomes a little, you know, where we're going with some of these folks. So kicking things off with the trio title match in Hell in a Cell. Real simple here. Team America got the win. We don't know what's next for them as right now. Be caught back of the line. We're gonna have to see a new trio step up in here in TSW and just see how that plays out. And of course, the big attack after the match, pun not intended. We'll touch a little bit on that later as well when we talk about other guy and Roy. But of course, big taking out Chris. You got to think Swain definitely gonna feel a certain way about that. So interested to see how those clash a little bit here going forward. We got the Wall Street fight. Johnny Collapse, nearly the longest reigning cruiserweight champion in history, but at the last moment, Khan steps up, gets the win. Huge win for Khan. You gotta think Clap wants that rematch absolutely imminently. We had that backstage brawl there. Of course, Black and Gold, Miss Huda and Miss Chico will have a shot at those tag titles this week. So best of luck to those competitors. Speaking of titles, heavy title match across the card, including the hardcore triple threat. No Shrades there, but of course, we know in the Rumble, Shrades did return. We will see Shrades versus Roldy this week. I do believe we will see that big time rematch. We got the other guy versus Roy. Big win there for other guy. Roy's gonna need some backup this week though, live from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. It's gonna be Roy and a partner up against Ichabod and other guy. So we're gonna see how that plays out for everybody involved. We've got the 20-minute Iron Woman match. 2-0 lead, no landmark level, no Falcon Super Bowl collapse here, but unfortunate finish up there for Steph. Over 100 days as champion. We got the rubber match between these two, and we're likely going to see that at 603 Mania. Some huge stipulation. Do we see last woman's ending? Do we see Hell in a Cell for the first time between the female competitors? Many possibilities. Backstage again as we had Trio and Sir Ballad out. Both them taken out, as we are well aware, based on what happened later on in that show. Not sure how either of them are in condition for this week's episode. We'll make sure you keep guys updated on their health. Big one here. BMI Gauntlet, Brandon 2K, longest reigning BMI champion, dominant while doing so. Got through what he thought was the fatal four-way, so to speak, but there was a fourth man. It was a five-man gauntlet, and Dargantix is your new BMI champion. Oh, cannot wait to see how that plays out on this upcoming week's TSW. I know Brandon already called out on YouTube here in the comments he wants that title back. We've got the tag team championships. Huge matchup and great showing by the founding fathers and new tag team champions. Really bad showing by Raw, but I mean, kind of worked out for him later in the evening. But man, that was a really bad showing for that guy. Joker looking really good, not only in that tag match, but of course in the Rumble as well. Excited to see what's coming up next for that guy. Someone who really got hoed on these rankings due to the wins, the loss, but man, he should be borderline top dozen right now, top 15. I'm not sure he's up there. We've got Boxy versus Adam. This one was interesting, of course, singles match. We had Albrecht, we know, with Boxy, but the Goon with Adam, we don't know who the Goon is, what his intentions were. Of course, got himself and Albrecht ejected. Not sure where that benefited who. So we have a lot of questions regarding that story going forward, and then we touched on it a little bit, but here we go. The last ham standing, 40 minutes roughly. It was an absolute slobber knocker, but in the end, big time, who honestly dominated quite a bit of the later part of that matchup, is your new heavyweight champion for all of 10 minutes. As of course, the Big Boss Ham landmark cashes in Money in the Bank successfully, is your first champ in TSW. Does it. Mount Rushmore chisel out a spot for this guy, and that's what's going to make, of course, the main event Rumble match that more interesting. As right now, of course, Ched's got a rematch, Big Time's got a rematch, Landmark's the champion, and we got the Rumble match right there. We got four guys. Interesting to see how this plays out come Mania, of course, but gotta touch on this Rumble, by the way. We have a fantastic, we're gonna get flashbanged a little bit here. Not too bad. We got a little spreadsheet we'll drop in the comments in case I want to dive in yourself to the Rumble by the numbers. Big shout out to Dargan for getting me this information real quick. We're gonna touch on some of the best and worst performance of the Rumble, and of course I'll come into the rankings as well. We have the worst performance in terms of least amount of time in the Rumble, 47 seconds for Mr. Benjamin. Oh, how you hate to see that. Followed up by Schmitty and CJ Sauce with at least time. A couple guys around in that area, but 47 seconds compared to 111 on Schmidt. So Mr. Benjamin doesn't get yeeted. A lot of people had, of course, no elimination, so that won't be really worth touching on, but we should touch on, of course, the longest time in the ring. The Iron Man, up until the final moments, was indeed JG603 with 17 minutes and change, but at the end of it, Joker, of course, would become the Iron Man. Don't hate it. Don't hate it right there. Again, we talked about it. This guy has had a phenomenal showing as of late. Let's get our eliminations tab sorted here. Most eliminations. We'll start from the bottom. A bunch of guys with 2. Shrades, Craigie Animal, Rod, Joker, all with 2. DJ Scorpio with 3 eliminations. JG, 4 eliminations, but most eliminations, and earning himself a hardcore title match in the future. That's going to be Rowdy time. Excellent. Nice showing there by Rowdy. It's funny because, of course, going in was kind of maligned as maybe just one of the lower end wrestlers. You know, oh, he got thrown out in 8 seconds, 13 seconds, 15 minutes, 32 seconds. Great showing by Rowdy, and fittingly enough, eliminated by none other than Shrades as well. So you gotta think we are not done checking out those two against each other in some regards. But with that, guys, that gets us through pretty much the majority of Rumble. Of course, we're gonna see some more fallout on this upcoming TSW Thursday Throwdown, but let's get into those rankings. Let's check it out. Mind me here, get a little bit of rogue energy in this system. You know, of course, getting Rumble tonight. Got to stream, and if you want to make sure we're quick and snappy here today. Oh yeah, Coach JG's gonna 3 minutes enough. All right, real quick, a lot of goodbyes, couple honorable mentions. The goodbyes, of course, we're looking at them. We got Grim, Prod, Vibe, AJ, and LBJ losing the rankings due to just a lot of title changes this week, first of all, and then also, of course, Rumble performances not great across the board for a couple of these guys. Although AJ coming in second guy did have a decent run there. Again, we'll get that Google Doc link down below for you, but a couple honorable mentions here. We've got Savart, great debut spot, but not the best physical debut. But this guy will be making an impact. You better believe that. Savart, the big daddy-o himself. Watch out with Mania season approaching, where he's going to get himself involved more. And the other honorable mention, it's DT2. Of course, he's 1/4 of the Trios champions. Freebird rules. Been kind of quiet lately. Like to see DT2 heat up a little bit, maybe even getting there defending the titles for that trio in the near future. But getting into number 30, we've got the other guy, and I tell you what, with that type of performance, that type of showing, and that type of location on the card, you gotta give a lot of love to other guy right here. Big win over Roy McCracken. We'll see him in tag action this upcoming week. Of course, was unranked. Couple unranked guys previously. Craigie, really good showing in that Rumble. Lasted pretty deep into that thing. Let me bring back the spreadsheet here, of course, in my infinite wisdom. Didn't keep it open. Craig, you know, nearly 10 minutes, a pair of eliminations, including getting out Prod and Phineas. So a good couple names there was taken out by Animal, but good showing by Craigie here. Coming in at 28, another unranked guy, another guy who had a really good showing in his debut Rumble match. We're talking Rox here. Rox, 14 minutes. 14 minutes. Elimination and a half on the board, of course, teamed up to get Yimmy out and getting out myself, JG603. So you're going to take out JG in the Royal Rumble. To be honest, I'll give you a little bit of ranking just for that alone. Nice showing, though, by Rox. And Rox, of course, in the trio with the congregation. Interested to see what is next here for the Girthquake. Moving right along, Tony, 27. That's his spot right now. I can't find a reason to make him go higher. Can't find a reason to make him go lower. Tony, the Tony champion, the Tony title holder. Here you are, sir. The paper champion, literally. And then we got the final outside, the outskirts here, up and at him from 14 back to 26 here. Of course, losing that matchup against Boxy. Let's touch on the 25. That's what we're here for. We've got Animal person first up here, had a shot to win that Rumble, of course, late entrant, some elimination action there, but unable to get the job done. Right now, holding pattern for one Animal. Of course, big trios win recently, so maybe see that work out, see how that plays out going forward. But Animal, I know this guy wants some gold around his waist once again. Talking about a guy who wants some more gold around their waist. We got JG603 coming back from unranked, returning from injury, nearly the Iron Man, going decent amount through that Rumble too. Pretty excited about that with 4 eliminations and nearly 20 minutes on the clock. JG603, someone who we're gonna see at 603 Mania. You better goddamn believe it. He will have a prominent position. What is that position? We're gonna find out. That sounded kind of inappropriate. We're going on, speaking of, and maybe inappropriate, take a seat, pull up a chair. We got Swanee here. Swanee, not the best Rumble performance, but of course will be facing the tag team champions in the near future. Not sure who will be holding the tag titles when they get that match. Of course, Swanee alongside, oh, never mind, there was a spot between them. DJ, I forgot he moved a little bit up ahead because DJ, again, he did have a great Rumble performance. 3 eliminations, some good time in the Rumble as well, which, you know, I think Loki's shocking the world there. DJ 11 minutes in there on top of 3 eliminations. Of course, DJ Swanee, but Shrades, I didn't realize Shrades was in between these guys. Shrades, of course, big return here. Not a ton of success in the Rumble, but made himself known, getting out Rowdy, I believe, getting out Roldy as well, potentially, I do believe. If I do remember correctly, I might be incorrect here. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Shrades getting out both Rowdy and Roldy, kind of his 2 big rivals, so rather fitting that those are the people he eliminates. Of course, we'll have that rematch with Roldy in the very near future here, probably this upcoming week. And speaking of Rowdy, we got to put him in these rankings, man. Great showing in that Rumble, 5 eliminations. He has earned himself a hardcore championship match. It won't be like a multi-man match, but further down the line, whether it be a 603 Mania, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, etc. But big ups there for Rowdy. Really good stuff there. Love what I saw from our guy Rowdy time. We got Miss JG and Jen here, both dropping back 2-3 spots apiece. 3 spots apiece, I should say. Of course, backstage brawl didn't go their way. Tag title match coming up this week. We'll see if the Queens of TSW can keep that ball rolling. We've got Joker, and we talked about this Joker way further down than he should be, but everyone else on these rankings either have a title or a #1 contender directly for a title. So, you know, Joker being at 17 did move up a little, fall back a bit from the 8 hole, but, you know, this is a guy who, give it a week or two, and I think depending on what he gets into, he'll be definitely at the top of these rankings once again. Similar here, we got Clap lost the title and dropped 10 spots. That's the kind of rankings we're looking at this week here, guys. Of course, Clap losing the Cruiserweight Championship to Khan will be getting a rematch in the very near future, this week, next couple weeks, certainly, because he's earned that, and the stockholders want to see that. We've got big time TS2, sweet heavyweight champion for 10 minutes. So sad. I hate to see it, but big win. Puts himself in a rematch clause, and he is in the record books now. So big time, quietly building a nice resume, holding 3 different singles championships here in TSW. But of course, will be getting a rematch. We're not sure how that rematch is going to play out quite yet, though. We have a blue-eyed witch, aka Steph, dropping 10 spots as well. And again, this is a situation where we felt like we have to value wins this week more than losses this week. So Steph taking a big tumble down the rankings. We'll be facing Huggies at 603 Mania in that 3rd and final rubber match. There will be no rematch. We got DT, Wings 2, and Kopak coming in here, jumping up 5-6 spots here. Of course, big win, retain the trio titles, and we really gotta, you know, the champions gotta have high rankings. So champions, a big win, big bump up the rankings, 13 and 12 hole here for Team America. We have no clue what is next for them. Sorry, Cap there as well, of course, as kind of the leader of the faction. Again, bring back the DT2 conversation. Will Cap continue to fight alongside them? Will he dabble in some other things? Will we see 4 titles in that group? It's possible, definitely possible. And now the top 10, and this is where it gets crazy. I know, longest reigning heavyweight champion in history, and he tumbles from 2 to 10, and it hurts my soul. But I tell you what, there were some insane wins this week that I feel like, you know, he put on a show in that loss, but loss is a loss, is in the top 10, is #1 contender still for that title, of course, with that rematch clause, similar to this one too. Brandon dropping from 1 to 9, huge tumble down these rankings. Unbelievable run by both those guys, record-breaking reigns, both losing the titles. Controversy, you know, the Dargan, the Money in the Bank. So, you know, a lot going on here. Tumble down the rankings, but huge risers, that means, for the next couple. Phineas and Herb, tag team champion, of course, the founding fathers, will go up from 19 to the 8 hole here. I think that's very fitting. Interested to see, of course, again, where these tag titles get defended, who they defend against next. There's rematch clauses, there's predetermined contenders. There's a lot of moving parts here in the tag team division. Dargan, defeated the 2 longest reigning beloved champion reigns in history of Boxy and Brandon 2K in Dargantics both times. The bottom of the barrel, this guy. The most, maybe, you know, we like to say Raw is the most hated in TSW. I think Dargan might have taken that title, if not already, certainly after the Rumble. Dargan up here to 7 on the rankings. Brandon 2K certainly will have a rematch again. We said Brandon 2K, he wants that belt back and he wants it back quickly. And now getting in the top 6, getting interesting here. We got Huggies from 10 to 6. Of course, great Iron Woman win over Steph. We thought Steph was unbeatable in a rematch. That is not the case. Huggies versus Steph at 603 Mania. Not sure the stipulation, but we know that is the grandest stage of all, and that is likely where it's going down, baby. Now the top 5. Controversy coming? Possibly. We've got Thy King Khan stopping the clap daddy and doing looking great doing so, I should say. Maybe a little high, potentially, only because he did lose the last time against Clap, but this sets up a nice rubber match between these guys. Third time, will it be the charm for Khan or Clap? We will find out in just a short amount of time. And now the top 4. Boxy, okay, I would argue Boxy could maybe be a little bit higher here, but we got Boxy in the 4th spot. Of course, reigning Universal Champion, I believe is about probably 10 days away from breaking the record for the longest Universal reign of CJ Sauce, and we're not gonna let that happen easy. He will be defending that belt this week, so you guys make sure you're locked in and loaded for that one. The top 3, you can probably gather what it's looking like by now. We got at the 3 spot, we've got the Royal Rumble winner, Roadhog. Did lose the tag titles, absolutely, damn shame, but the Royal Rumble. Main event of 603 Mania, locked and loaded for this man. Of course, one other guy we know is guaranteed in that match as well, being Landmark. He's not gonna have to defend that title before then, can guarantee that as well. But Raw, great win there. A lot of questions regarding his past and mainly tag team competition, arguably the losing part of some of those teams. But end of the day, he is Royal Rumble winner. He is going to Mania, and he is looking to walk out with that heavyweight championship. And now the top 2. Yeah, we're going to put Roldy here in the 2 spot. Great triple threat victory, but is only a couple weeks into his reign there, and after debuting a little unproven, not a lot of history in TSW, but Roldy will be defending in Shrades this upcoming week. Can the hardcore icon continue this run in the hardcore division? I'm not sure. What do I do know? Greatness personified. We're talking the big boss Ham Landmark. Clear off the little blocker there. He is indeed one half the tag team champions, former Mr. Money in the Bank, now world heavyweight champion, #1 in the rankings, #1 in TSW, and hopefully #1 in all your hearts. Cannot wait to see what these next few weeks look like for Landmark between the tag titles, the single title, drama left and right. He's got so many people he's closely tied to, against, fighting with, and for. TSW is going to get real interesting as we heat up for 603 Mania, and of course, the release of WWE 2K25. But until then, guys, I appreciate y'all. Y'all been the best. Y'all been too sweet. And I appreciate you. Woo. Bye.